Hello there and welcome back to my channel. 2024 is going to be the year of vlogs. At least that's the plan. I want to vlog at least once a month just to update you on my life, share current favorites, things that I'm loving, and just chit chat about how things are going, new things occurring. We'll see where the year takes us, but I'm gonna fill up my water and we're gonna get the day started. Now, it is not one of my 2024 goals to drink more water because I'm one of those people that doesn't really have a problem drinking water. However, I know there is someone watching this who did set a goal to drink more water. And if that's you, this is your sign to drink.
You don't have enough water in there? Your stomach?
But if you missed it, back, I don't know, was it beginning of January, end of December, it's all blending together. I made a video where I talked about my goals for the year and the approach I was taking, which one of the first things I did was create a word for the year. This is kind of an all-encompassing theme, if you will. And my word for 2024 is intentional. Now, Bridget and I recorded a podcast over on Teaching to the Top where we shared our words and our plans for goals for the first part of the year. We're gonna come back to that. And in that podcast episode, I mentioned that I wanted some way to display my word as a reminder. And shout out to Emily, who reached out to me on Instagram, and she said she's been picking a word every year for a while. And what she will do is create a symbol that kind of represents the word, and then she will get something with that symbol, like a piece of jewelry, as a reminder. And I was like, I love that idea. However, I tried to come up with a symbol for intentional and nothing was jumping out at me. I thought about like a target, but nothing was speaking to me, okay? However, I was able to use the idea to have a necklace made. So I went on Etsy and I figured there's gotta be some kind of necklace where you can just have a word engraved on it. I will link it down below, but here is my necklace. So I got this from an Etsy shop called Custom Brights. I will link it. It's B-R-I-T-E-S, but this is really awkward getting this close to the camera. I had the word intentional engraved on it and I absolutely love it. I wear it all the time, which usually I don't really wear jewelry besides earrings. This has not left my neck. I love the little reminder, and every now and then I'll just kind of like touch it, and it just is very subtle and dainty, but it's there as a reminder to me anytime I look in the mirror, anytime I touch it. So if you need a reminder for your 2024 word, there's an idea for you. Now, in addition to my word for the year, I am setting individual goals for each month. My January goal was to read 5 books. And I'm very happy to report that not only did I achieve that goal, but I actually surpassed it. I read a total of 6 books, which, you know, I didn't zoom real far past it, but I at least met the goal and kept going. And I have to say, I'm proud of myself. It feels good. I did have to change some habits in order to make it happen, but they weren't drastic changes. It was little things like reading in small pockets of time. For example, in the morning when I come downstairs, Billy is upstairs getting ready. I will take Ember outside, feed her, and usually I have about 5 minutes or so, and I used to just scroll on my phone during that time. Now I sit and I read. I don't get through many pages, but it adds up over the course of a week. I also found that I prefer to finish books quickly, and I am a fast reader compared to most people, or at least compared to Billy, as we have found. So I would rather spend one day where I read a lot and I finish a book in 1 to 2 days rather than doing it a little bit at a time. but that's just me. So I'm going to share my thoughts on the books that I read for January, and then I'm gonna share the books I plan to read during February, because this January goal is part of a bigger goal that I have for the year. I created a 40 before 40 list. So it's a list of 40 things I want to do in the next 10 years before I turn 40. And one of those is reading 52 books in a year, and I really wanna accomplish that this year. All of these books I have on an Amazon wish list. I forget what it's called, but it will be linked for you. So if you are interested, these books will all be there and you can kind of follow along. The first book I read was Think Like a Warrior. Did not like it. It was very cliche. It felt like reading a fortune cookie. Don't really recommend it, but it's kind of like sports psychology related. Second book I read was The Power of Habit. I really liked this. I will say it's not my favorite habit book ever. I still prefer Atomic Habits because Atomic Habits is more applicable. It gives you strategies to try out. This is more about the why behind building habits and how they work and the science behind them and how they manifest in our lives, which I did find just very, very interesting. It's a longer read and it's not the most exciting. However, I do think it's worth reading if you're a habit nerd like I am. The third book, this was my favorite, was The Slight Edge. This book was very simple, but I loved it. It is a principle that I think anyone can apply to any area of their life to improve. And in summary, I guess you would say, it's like the things that separate those who are really successful from those who aren't. It's little things that they do consistently that most people will start doing and then eventually fall off of. And so it has fantastic reminders. If you don't read any of these and just choose one, that one. Next, I read Relentless. I had already read half of this, but never finished it. And going back and rereading it, I remembered why. It was better than Think Like a Warrior, but still just didn't really speak to me. It's a sports psychology type book. I still found it very cliche, but it at least was better than the other one. And then my fiction book for the month was A Spark of Light by Jodi Picoult. I also had started this one, but never finished it. I'm happy I finished it. I did enjoy it. It's not my favorite book of hers, but I just love her writing style. I feel like she could rewrite the phone book. Do they still make phone books? And I would read it just because her writing is phenomenal. But it is a mentally kind of taxing book to read because you're analyzing all these different perspectives and sides, and regardless, it was good. And then my bonus book for the month was It Starts With Us. I've had this for a year and kept meaning to read it, and I would start reading it and then I never finished it. So I finally read it. I did not love it as much as It Ends With Us. Honestly, after reading it back to back with Jodi Picoult, I kind of realized that it felt very juvenile and, I don't know, cheesy. I guess if you want a cheesy book, then it's fine, but it was a very mindless book to read. I'm happy I read it, but it was, it was what it was. Now, for February, my goal is to read 4 books because February is shorter, although we get a bonus day, and that's why I chose this year to be the year that I read 52 books, because it's a leap year. So we have 29 days in February. Apparently, the theme for February is orange, red, black, and white, because all of the books I chose are those colors. First book is going to be The 4-Hour Work Week. I've had this for years and just have never read it. Again, I've started it multiple times, never finished it. Then these were all 3 new Amazon purchases. I was trying to work through books I already had, but I've finished almost all of them now. So The One Thing, The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results, had really good reviews. Excited to read that. You Can't Screw This Up by Adam Bornstein. This is like a diet nutrition type book, but I heard about it on a podcast and I really enjoyed his podcast interview, so I wanted to read his book. And then for an education book, we have Building Thinking Classrooms in Mathematics, Grades K-12, 14 Teaching Practices for Enhancing Learning. I've heard great things about this, so I'm excited to try it out, but I will keep you updated. As I mentioned, all the books will be on the Amazon list, so if you wanna grab any of them, they're conveniently located in one spot for you. That link is down in the description. Figured I'd give y'all some Ember content, although she's a little low for you to see her. She's there though. Yes, hello, thank you. My other February goal, in addition to reading those books, that's like a minor goal, like a B goal, if you will. I also want to solve a Rubik's Cube. This has been just a lifelong thing that I've wanted to do. It's part of my 40 before 40 list. You are being so stinking cute, my goodness. Shout out to Billy, who got me a Rubik's Cube for Christmas, which was very sweet and considerate. It's one that moves very easily, which I'm excited about. Now, I have tried solving a Rubik's Cube with no real strategy, just moving the pieces around. I understand that the middle color on each side is the color that that side will be. I'm scared to mess this one up, although it's not February yet, so we're holding off a few more days. It is currently January 29th. If you have experience solving a Rubik's Cube and you taught yourself or learned and you have any really good resources or ways that you went about it, please let me know. My plan is to start on YouTube and just search videos, watch them, try it out. I think I'm gonna try to set a timer each day of like 15 minutes that I spend trying to practice, and maybe over the course of a month, I will eventually figure it out, and that's the plan at least, but the plan may get altered as we go because things don't always go according to plan, do they, Ember? Come here, come say hi. Hello. Thank you. Wanna go outside? Let's go. Since the month is almost over, I figured this was the perfect time to reflect on January and also make sure I'm set up for success in February, which means we're gonna do a little digital planning. I'm using the new digital personal planner. Bridget and I have this posted on teachingonthedouble.com. I will have it linked for you. You can get it in either tablet, which is what I am using, or Google Slides. And if you're curious about devices and all that, I'm using an older iPad. It's from 2018, an Apple Pencil, and the annotation app GoodNotes. I will have all of that linked for you down below. But I'm gonna do a screen recording. I think that's my best bet here. If you saw my last vlog, then you saw me plan out January. I did go in after and neat it up a little bit, make it a little cleaner. However, looking back at this page, the word intentional under the focus, this was literally a picture I took from Google and just cropped and placed there, but I'm gonna use that as my focus every single month of the year since that is my word. I never came up with a third goal, which I think is a good thing. The reason I was able to accomplish both of the goals I set is because I wasn't too ambitious. I already shared that I actually read 6 books in January, and then I tried more than 3 recipes. This was a turkey lasagna soup. That was delicious. I did these Mediterranean veggies. I'm gonna put it here. There we go. This was a shrimp pad thai, and then these were buffalo chicken stuffed peppers. And then yesterday I made a 3-layer German chocolate cake from scratch, and it was phenomenal. So I've been on a big cooking kick lately. Important dates, those are all done with. Projects, so my office ceiling is finally repaired. I will insert in a little before and after so that you can celebrate with me. It has been a long time coming, it feels good. January YouTube videos are all done. February podcast episodes are all done. I got a couple new products posted, which I feel good about. And I'm making progress on upcoming trips and travel. Under my things to do, you will notice I still have some things at the bottom that I'm hoping to finish up by the middle of this week before we go on to February. But I do want to kind of review the month of January. However, I also am already thinking ahead to February. Now, if you're curious about me setting up this page, Bridget and I actually recorded a behind the scenes podcast episode as we both filled this out. But as an overview, that will be linked for you down below if you want to check out the episode. My priorities are going to be planning for McCall, which is a tech conference in Michigan that I am presenting at in March. I did it last year as well. I have 5 different sessions, so there's a lot of planning that goes into that. Personal development refers to, you know, reading more, getting new skills, those types of things. That's gonna be a priority for the month. And then disconnecting. Billy and I are gonna be going on a trip to Arizona, and that will be the perfect time to do that. As I mentioned, my goals are to solve a Rubik's Cube, try at least 3 new recipes. Again, I wanna keep the cooking kick going, and then read at least 4 books, which if we scroll over to the to-do list, you will notice I've already put those books on my to-do list, which I feel like is a really good strategy for me to make sure that I get through them. For projects, I have a lot of, PDs, videos, podcasts, trips and travel, nothing fancy there, and then dates. Okay, let's go ahead back to the January review. Now, I'm not gonna bore you and sit here and write my summary, but let's go through like highlights and gratitude. So one highlight is going to be reaching my January goal. I'm also gonna say, it's lame because I feel like I'm kind of being repetitive here, but cooking and baking more, I've really enjoyed that, which later on in this video, I'm gonna share some of my favorite places I've gotten recipes from lately. So cooking and baking more. And then I'm gonna say celebrating Billy's dad's birthday. So that was yesterday. And essentially, we took him to barbecue, which was really fun because it was a new place for Billy and I as well. He came over, watched football. I made the German chocolate cake. We surprised him with some little gifts that hinted at where we were taking him for his trip in May for his 65th birthday. We're taking him to Germany. So we had, the first gift was an Einstein Brothers bagel gift card because Einstein is from Germany. We did some Haribo gummy bears. We did, what was the third gift? Oh, some Bavarian mustard, and then it was like a German beer was the final one. And that was just a really good day. So that was definitely a highlight. Gratitude. I'm gonna say I'm grateful for having a flexible schedule that really allows me to kind of shift my time when needed. I'm also gonna say having family close by. So like Billy's dad, my parents, their ability to watch Ember, be able to go over, have dinner with them every now and then. So having family close by. And then my third piece of gratitude is going to be having a warm home on cold days. So it's been kind of chilly here in Austin, probably not cold in other parts of the country, but for us it's been cold. And in those moments, just reflecting on the fact that I have, a warm home to come to. Okay, best memory. So this is gonna sound lame, but there was a night watching Breaking Bad, because Billy and I are going back and rewatching Breaking Bad, where there was a moment that we were laughing so hard we had to like pause the TV and had like tears streaming down our eyes. And that, it's a moment that I keep thinking back to. So watching Breaking Bad and laughing with Billy. Okay, challenges for the month. I would say wanting to start a bunch of new things, but not taking on too much at once. So the desire to do more, I guess I could say. That's always a struggle I have. And then I'm gonna say time management. Even though I'm happy with what I got done, I did struggle with divvying up my time between different responsibilities. Like there were days where all I did was read and I should probably not do that. Okay, so things to improve. So I'm gonna say balancing, don't we all love that word? Balancing responsibilities. And then I need to better prioritize my recovery in terms of training. Those are the things that come to mind first. I'll kind of think about the third things. Next month, keep doing. I want to keep reading on a consistent basis. And specifically, that means about 1 book per week. What do I want to start doing? I want to start, here, let's put a little bullet, because I've got a couple things. I'm gonna put 3. So I want to start stretching every day. Ooh, I need to add that to maybe my February goal. Stretching every day. I want to start practicing my Rubik's Cube. And I also want to learn a new language, and I feel like it needs to be one of those things that I just work on consistently. So again, I'm gonna say practice learning a new language. And one thing I want to stop doing is constantly surrounding myself with stimulation. Like always having a podcast going or a video playing. Okay, that's good enough for now. I'm gonna continue to reflect on this between now and when January actually ends. But by the time you are watching this, I will be done. So I will put a little screenshot over here if you are interested in my January reflection. And again, I plan to vlog each month, so I will let you know how February turns out, and we'll do the same for March. Now, today is going to be a day where I'm doing a lot of computer work, which means I get to be on my walking pad, so at least I'm getting some steps in. But one little productivity hack strategy, it's not really a hack, that I've been doing lately that for me has helped me remain focused. I like to do kind of work blocks where I will work for say an hour and then take a 10 to 15 minute break, go throw a ball with Ember. And I will set a timer. So on my phone under timers, I literally just set it for an hour and I will sit it next to me. Sometimes I have it visible, sometimes I kind of dull the screen so that I can't see it, but I have to remain working during that time without any distractions.
As you can see, we are procrastinating and distracting others.
So no going on social media. If I have to go to the bathroom, I pause the timer, go to the bathroom, come back, play it. So if you struggle with staying focused for long periods of time, you can give that a try. Today, I'm mostly working on product creation. So I did release a few new products the past month, which has been nice. Outside of just the digital personal planner, I also released my timer videos. So if you've ever seen those countdown timers that I have and you want them, you can purchase just the videos. They are included in a few of my other products, but if you want just the videos, you can have them there, as well as my Canva rotation boards. I made a full video about these, but it's a great way to organize small groups and they will run automatically. They do include those timer videos as well. So if you're interested in the rotation boards, you don't need to buy the timer videos. You will get them with that product. But looking at the month ahead, there are 2 different products I want to release. One being a new digital escape room. I want to have a different themed escape room for each month of the year. So I want to create a February themed one. And then also what I'm going to call a digital mystery picture. Kind of like the digital escape room, it will function through Google Forms, but rather than having the storyline of an escape room, as students answer questions, which it will be an editable template, so you can put in your own questions and answers, it will fill in almost like pieces of a puzzle or like a picture, so the picture will reveal itself as they answer questions. And I want to create a February themed one of those with some different picture options to choose from. I'm not going to get either of those done today, but I at least want to get working on them. However, I also have some Google updates that I wanted to share with you. These were recently released at the BETT conference, B-E-T-T. It's a big tech conference that happens over in the UK. Here is an overview image of some of the announcements that were released at the conference, but I'm gonna go through and highlight some of the ones that I think are most relevant to teachers. First, there is going to be, if you haven't already seen it, a new resources tab in Google Classroom. So this will be a way for you to save essentially like assignments and almost think about it as like templates and things that you can then pull from and be able to use. So that will be a huge time saver. You also will have the ability to share links to templates and full classwork pages. So that can really help you simplify lesson planning. It will make it easy to share content between teachers. You will be able to finally define groups of students and then assign different content so you can better personalize your lessons based on student needs. There will be some new classroom add-ons, including Kami quizzes, Flip. There will be a new classroom analytics feature that gives you the ability to look at assignments and see how grades are trending, assignment completion, different data and statistics like that. Students will be able to glance at their upcoming Google Classroom assignments on their Chromebook home screens. That will be integrated through the OS. There will be some more AI-generated questions for YouTube video assignments in Google Classroom, which might be handy. There also will be a whole feature called Duet AI, and that will allow you to use generative AI in Docs, Slides, Sheets, Gmail, and Meet. You will be able to create recordings of presentations in Google Slides with your slides and you as like a little circle video all in one. So huge time saver. And you will be able to easily collect electronic signatures. This will be built in directly to Google Workspace, so you can draft documents and then request signatures in Google Docs and with PDFs in your Google Drive. And then finally, Google Meet hosts will have the ability to pin multiple video tiles for everyone in the meeting. So that's just kind of a brief overview, but don't forget, every year at the end of the year, I highlight some of the best Google features that were released that year. If you're curious about last year in 2023, anything you might have missed, I will link that video for you down in the description box. So in these monthly vlogs, I want to include some of my current favorites, what I'm loving at the moment. I already mentioned my necklace, the Slight Edge book, digital planning, setting timers on my phone to stay on track, but a lot of my current favorites, I'm sure this is no surprise, are food related and organization related. So let's get into some of those. First, some free websites that have really, really good recipes that are macro friendly. Now that just means it has a good balance of protein, carbs, and fats, which to me is just a good diet in general. But I have really been loving LILLIE Eats and Tells and Oh Snap Macros. I will link both of their websites down below. They also have Instagram accounts, but they have tons of free recipes on their websites. That being said, they also have paid cookbooks that you can purchase, which these were my Christmas presents to myself. I got Danielle, who is the author behind Oh Snap Macros. She recently published a Macros Made Easy physical cookbook on Amazon. So I went ahead and purchased it. So far, I have made the buffalo chicken stuffed peppers, and those were really good. That's what they looked like. I can't really share the recipe because obviously it's part of a paid cookbook, but if you are interested and want to check that out, I will link it for you in the description box. But I also got 2 digital cookbooks from LILLIE Eats and Tells, which are great because you don't have to store them anywhere, and I will just pull them up either on my iPad or my phone when I am cooking. But the 2 that I got are called One, which these are all like one dish type of meals. And then the other one, it's her newest one, is called One More Time. So kind of the same idea. They're like very simple, you make them all in one pot, one pan type of dishes. But tonight I am making, let me go to my bookmarks. That's also the thing that I like. You can bookmark pages on your iPad. This is just in the Books app and you can easily get to it when you need it. I am making deconstructed butternut chicken enchiladas, which again, I can't share the recipe because it's part of a paid cookbook, but I will link the cookbook if you're interested. Last week for the grocery order, I ordered a spaghetti squash. This is what I got. Billy and I typically do grocery pickup, and so obviously the person shopping for our order thought this was a spaghetti squash, but it is in fact a butternut squash. So that's what I'm gonna make tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and prep some of the veggies, like dice the onion, chop up the bell pepper, chop up the zucchini, get the chicken cooked and shredded so that all I have to do is add that in, you know, cooking stuff. But you may remember around Christmas time when I showed you during the wrap-in chat, Billy's stocking stuffers, I got some magnetic shelves and I wanted to check in with you on those. First of all, I love that they're not really visible until you come around here, but here's where we place them. All four on the side of the fridge. We can still open the cabinet. We can still hang our oven mitts, but it gives us some easy access to some of the spices and seasonings that we use most often when we are cooking. These are some homemade seasonings that I made. It's a Cajun seasoning and a ranch seasoning. So for now, they're just kind of tucked under there, but they're super sturdy. Highly recommend. I will link them for you again if you're interested. Also, those magnetic spice racks work really well in your classroom if you have a magnetic whiteboard. You can hold books or materials that you need easy access to in the front of your classroom. Just saying, multi-use. Something else I've been loving, hold on, are these tea packets. Now, I've never been a big tea drinker.
The tea in Nepal is very hot.
However, when Billy and I were in Jordan, we drank a lot of tea and it just kind of turned me on to the idea. So I started by getting this herbal tea sampler on Amazon. It's from Celestial Seasonings. I know there are a bunch of different tea brands and hopefully y'all don't come at me with all the recommendations because I am not that serious of a tea drinker, okay? Maybe I will become one, but right now we're just not there. So I got this basic pack, tried some different flavors. I really loved the peppermint and also the honey vanilla chamomile. Lemon zinger was okay, but did not love the sleepy time. That one was kind of gross. Then I got the same brand, cinnamon apple spice. Oh, this is my new favorite. The cinnamon flavor, and you get the little bit of apple. It's very, very good. So I've been on a tea kick lately. Plus, I've also been using a lot of those single serve drink packets, you know, the ones that, like little lemonade packets that you can put into your water. However, I don't mix them in my water. I prefer just to drink my water plain. I mix them in yogurt, okay? Hear me out. I buy just like the plain, non-fat Greek yogurt. Chobani is my favorite brand. And I buy the plain so that I can use it in recipes for cooking, but then I can also flavor it. Sometimes I want sweet, like a chocolatey or peanut butter flavored yogurt, and I'll typically use protein powder for that. But sometimes I want it to be fruity, and I will add in like frozen fruit. I get this big bag of the 3-berry blend from Costco. And at night, I love to have a bowl of yogurt with frozen fruit, and I will mix in these flavoring packets as the flavor for the yogurt. Are you going with me here? So my current favorite, I understand it's all chemicals, I just don't care, is the Skittles Wild Berry Punch. It tastes just like the Wild Berry Skittles, which are my favorite Skittles. But I also have Starburst ones. I have like the pink, which is strawberry. I have blue raspberry flavored ones. I have Jolly Rancher, green apple, watermelon. I have Crush strawberry. I had this one the other night. It was very good. And then I have basic like lemonade kind of flavored ones. So naturally I had to organize all of them, and I got this little rotating caddy. It's technically for holding makeup brushes, but it works perfectly for these little drink mixes. And because I then got on a big caddy kick, let me show you the other one I've been using. I've shown you the caddies in the pantry before. They're perfect for organizing things in the corner. but I got another one and it's now in this cabinet to hold all of Billy and I's supplements. So creatine, probiotic, pre-workout, creatine, and then these are Billy's like amino acids and his pre-workout. But it just makes it super convenient to find what we need rather than trying to take things out of the cabinet and digging into the back, because that's what we were doing before. And obviously rotating caddies or lazy Susans are fantastic for organizing supplies in the classroom as well, especially at a small group table. So I will link those down below along with all the other things I mentioned in this video. I feel like there was a lot, so hopefully I don't forget anything. I will also insert in some B-roll of how the butternut chicken enchiladas turn out. I'm excited to try it. If you enjoyed this video, I know it was kind of different, but let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. As always, thank you for watching. I love you so much. Don't forget to put your positive pants on, and I will catch you in the next one.